Welcome to Exotical Chronicles. On this channel, my hope is that many other young girls and women can escape potential threats to their environment and mental well-being by understanding how they are perceived by others, especially those who attempt to cause them pain and suffering for simply being beautiful. It is important to recognize and challenge these perceptions by promoting a more nuanced and respectful understanding of people's diverse backgrounds, experiences, and identities. Thus, my aim is to unpack both the shared and individual experiences of exotic stereotypes so that we can mitigate harm to our personas, one episode at a time. The balance in raising a beautiful daughter comes within the confines of teaching her to always highlight her best traits, physical traits, while also educating her on the backlash she will receive from society for doing so. Before my daughter was even 5, she had been spit on, kicked, and shoved in a lunch line on a separate occasion, each time by boys who not only have emotional dysregulation and probably a deep-seated hate from women because of their mother wounds, but also because they probably realized at a young age that they lacked the character and similar good looks to attract or garner the attention of a prettier girl. Also, while young, my daughter has also been kissed by another girl while playing on the playground in elementary school, which confused her at a very early age, and most recently has even gone from being best friends with other girls in the beginning of the school year only to be completely abandoned by them before the summer break. It wouldn't be fair to claim that my daughter, in all of her glory, is perfect or is the atypical it girl, but I wouldn't be completely honest if I didn't admit to the fact that she likely faces certain adversities within her friend groups now at 16 because of her looks. Plain and simple. She's a super sweet girl who has always known to exercise feminine voice control. She's a girl's girl who is always agonizing over getting the perfect gift for her friends for every occasion, birthdays, quinceañeras, Christmas, Valentine's Day, etc. She is extremely down to earth and can make anyone laugh. She is a mini comedian. And because me and my family wouldn't have it any other way, our whole family has always had humility. The confidence is what's been the hard part for me. But my daughter, she's humble, maybe too humble, but confident in her decisions, in her academics, and of course, in her looks. She's a straight A student and is learning Japanese. She takes extremely good care of her skin, which is hard to achieve in high school since this is when puberty is kicking our butts and teen acne is common. However, her skin is flawless, which all stems from her peaceful and balanced lifestyle, her feminine hygiene routine, and her love for quality skin care products, and her vegan diet. I myself am not a strict vegan, but she just one day voluntarily chose a vegan lifestyle and is extremely regimented in what she consumes on a daily basis. She has way more discipline than I do. My exotical daughter is also very, very nice. She is a very kind young lady. Even more importantly, she is very respectful. We're from Florida, so some would consider this the South, but that being said, being from the South, we both have a Southern hospitality-like persona about us. We still refer to adults and elders by Mr. and Mrs. She even uses salutations when referring to or speaking to some of my friends. She's a really good student too, and has what we call in the Black community home training. Yeah. So she has never had behavioral issues while out in public and definitely never in school. Between my super conservative upbringing and her father's strict Caribbean household, she has enough fear instilled in her about acting out that she wouldn't dare, basically. So if you get my drift, she usually gives me an earful about how inappropriate and out of line the kids at school are when I pick her up. it is LA, which is much faster and dynamic compared to Florida. So we do have an open dialogue about the cultural differences between the two states because it's a thing. I like to take an objective approach in parenting. It's really difficult, right? But we try. So, as to not be judgy or critical, but rather open minded and indifferent about people's behaviors and habits, which is also why my daughter has already begun to receive some hate and overall confusing behavior from her peers because of her mind. What I mean by this is her mind is exceptionally bright and she is as sharp as a dagger, much more than the average teenager her age. She is top of her class and probably in the top 5% amongst her academic peers across the entire school. Her future is very promising and she is very studious. Kind of a nerd like me. Focused and very locked in. She has already completed college courses and she's in AP classes, and as mentioned, she just excels in school. Have you ever had that one black or minority student in your class in grade school who just naturally was good at school and they like made it look easy? I feel like I remember having one of those. And I feel that, that's my daughter. I kid you not. Recently, once she announced that she would be attending a summer course at Columbia University this summer on her little Instagram or whatever, it's kind of in perfect alignment with her starting to come home and ask me questions about why this friend didn't speak to her in the hallway today or why that friend didn't invite her somewhere. And even more bold, Mom, why did they make the plans in front of me without inviting me? I cannot fathom why 16-year-olds would be this catty. Of course, I was there once, but I had a little bit of conflict in high school, and usually it just resulted in some unambiguous girl threatening to beat me up. But my daughter's peers do really cold and icy stuff. So LA, right? So last school year, one of her male peers went from someone she considered an associate, never a friend, but someone she was cool with, to someone she no longer respects. He made a very volatile comment towards her and thought it was funny. And when she showed him that she didn't appreciate his stupidity, he turned it around and threatened her with violence. Like, what? Oh, but honey, my daughter doesn't play those games. She's woke. So she somehow got in touch with the boy's father, and he ended up calling my daughter and apologizing on his son's behalf and begged her to not tell the school administration and to let him know how he could make it up to her. My daughter refused any kind of collateral, of course, but I bet you that little boy is dust to her now. She does not acknowledge him at school anymore. And that reminds me of one of my more recent lessons that I've given her, which is don't let anybody play with you. So she confides in me, and I often have to do the difficult task of giving her the hard truth about encountering jealousy and envy as she continues in life. I also did take time to explain to her that not all the time is a boy rude or disrespectful towards you because they like you. I think that that's a really unhealthy belief, but it is part of the reason. And that little boy will likely be the same way as a man. So that's why she steers clear, and she's not here for it already. She's already not here for it. But, you know, this is why we're all engaging in this dialogue on this platform, right? So we can educate and warn others. Some of us are moms, some aren't. And we've all had personal experiences with this. So, again, of course, I'm biased, but given the feedback I've always received from my environment, I know that my daughter's trajectory in life so far is grounded and rooted in love and respect for herself and others. She is very grounded despite how she may be perceived by those who may treat her with contempt. We are very spiritual people, and she is extremely aware and perceptive of the world around her. She's always been that way. A Harper's Bazaar article titled, quote, "The Dangers of Parenting a Beautiful Daughter," close quote, that was published in 2017, asked if a mother should enhance her child's natural beauty or try to hide it. It discussed the contrast in being a stage mom who's obsessive about monetizing their daughter's beauty versus a feminist who actually avoids subscribing to the whole social perception of beauty being ranked on a scale, and that their daughter's beauty should be buried, not celebrated. The writer admitted that she, quote, found herself on a thin line between effortful shaping and loving attention when it comes to navigating motherhood, close quote. Well, I personally never battled with this because as an exotical who will always get attention anyway, I also taught my daughter that if it's going to be attention, it might as well be good attention. So I have no say in the inevitable bullying and hurtful actions of her peers that are destined to occur due to her looks. But beyond this, I make sure to empower my daughter to embrace her beauty no matter what, leverage it in the right ways, and to always couple her pretty privilege with the matching intellect. She knows that physical characteristics alone should not be valued over other qualities. However, aside from the more common and cliche messaging of empowering and inspiring our young Black girls and women, it is important to equip them with skills and tangible tools that they can take and use in the real world and beyond the four walls of the home and school. My daughter takes Krav Maga martial arts training, for example, so she knows how to defend herself in the streets of New York, for example, or basically anywhere outside of the house, and if she's away from me. Nowadays, you can never be too carefree with your children, especially young women. She also understands the importance of trusting her intuition, whether it's around a creepy uncle or a jealous girl at a party. Her being intuitive and receptive to energies is a must. I cannot begin to expand on how a lack of discernment is literally getting young women out here KILLD, both in relationships and in friendships. I'm not judging by any means, but the unfortunate case of Shanquella Robinson, for example, that not only highlights the atrocious prevalence of femicide, and it was extremely sad to believe that she did not sense the danger that she was exposing herself to by traveling with those hating ass frenemies of hers. There's no way that I or my daughter would ever be thousands of miles around the world and away from home and people that I know and love with people that don't F with me like that. Never. I'm not victim blaming at all. The focus here is on exercising the utmost discernment and, of course, knowing when to cut people off for the sake of your safety. Rest in peace to Shanquella Robinson. To this day, I'm heartbroken over the outcome of that situation. I actually have my own story to tell about being physically assaulted and attacked by my unambiguous roommate. So leave a comment down below if you want me to tell that story. And leave comments anyway, leave questions. I want to get you all's thoughts on this topic. I want to hear other stories as well. Am I crazy? All in all, I aim to engage regularly in discussions of this matter with my daughter because I want to protect her peace and I want her to learn how to always be eloquent in handling any and all adversity because it will come. So let's all educate our daughters to understand both the privilege and pain that comes with being an exotical. After all, like Beyonce said, pretty hurts. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, please share, and leave a question or comment so we can continue this dialogue. I really hope to see you in the next one.